Loud. So thanks for being here, everyone. Thank you for that warm welcome. And it's a great joy to be able to be here with you all for the AMTA's 20th anniversary conference. And we are so happy you choose to join us tonight. Thank you very much. Yes, 20, that's a great right. Clap for that. That's an moment. Congratulations. Now, before we begin our event tonight, I want to take a moment to let you know that this conference is dedicated to our longtime friend and colleague, Al Bumanis. Al died peacefully on September 30th after a very brief illness, with his family at his side. He was AMTA's first director of conferences and communications, and he has organized these conferences since 1991. Al led a life of service to the music therapy profession and support to thousands of music therapists for over 25 years. I would venture to guess that many people in this room worked with Al in one form or another, and all who did were impressed with Al's good-natured humor, his integrity, and his kindness in a world that is sometimes seriously lacking in all three. Al loved the music therapy profession, and he loved music therapists, and he loved music. So let us take a moment to remember Al with one of his favorite songs in a musical moment of silence.
Oh, I've seen fire and I've seen rain. Seen sunny days that I thought would never end. I've seen lonely times when I could not find a friend. But I always thought that I'd see you again.
Thank you. I gotta think of something funny so I can keep going. Okay, thank you for joining me in that moment. And we move forward in this conference and in our profession. Let us all exemplify the kindness and integrity that Al always protected and practiced. And now, let me introduce to you the AMTA Vice President and Conference Chair, Christine O'Grady. Give her a hand.
Welcome to Dallas, Texas for the 20th anniversary conference of the American Music Therapy Association, Music Therapy for a Growing World. 20 years ago, two separate and distinct music therapy organizations, the American Association for Music Therapy and the National Music Therapy Association, joined to become one. It was a union that was long past due, and we became stronger together. Time flies so fast. It seems only yesterday we were just nervous newlyweds. Now look at us, so much wiser, stronger, and braver and more united than ever. As we come together on the 20th anniversary of this union, let's recognize that growth is not always easy. We may come to music therapy from different places with diverse philosophies and opinions, but at the end of the day, we must walk through the door to the future together. Maybe we don't always agree on every point, but like a good marriage, we won't let debates and disagreements break us apart. We may have a long way to go, but just for a moment, let's take time to remind ourselves and celebrate how far we've come. There is room for all of us at the music therapy table because we are dedicated to one ultimate goal, using music to enrich lives. As we celebrate the past 20 years and face our future, I look forward to sharing many more wonderful years with you, my music therapy family. Happy 20th anniversary to all of us. This conference features growth, and we have a lot of opportunity for your personal growth as a music therapist. This year, we offered 42 additional courses and special trainings to add on to the conference for even more growth. Many of those additional courses have been going on since Monday and represent a combined 230 hours of affordable CMTE credits. And throughout the next 3 days, these halls will be filled with the music and sounds of nearly 200 concurrent sessions, over 235 hours, combined hours, more than 14,000 minutes of education and expertise from movers and shakers in the world of music therapy. Over 200 hours of meetings will take place, furthering the mission of AMTA and securing a place for music therapy in the world. And let's not forget the networking and music-making events, all for your benefit, your self-care, and your growth. Throughout the conference, you'll find multiple ways we're celebrating our 20th anniversary, like the unification panel and archival displays in the AMTA Village. To help you make sense of all this, we have a conference app as a companion to your printed program. Follow the directions on page 82 to download the app after the opening session, please. And you'll be ready to explore the conference electronically. See maps, create personal schedules and to-do lists, look up sponsors, exhibitors, and presenters, and if you wish, you can check into the conference in the attendees section and interact with others. Or you can use the analog printed program in your conference bag. Updates and changes will be highlighted in the app, so don't forget to check your inbox and on the Errata screen near the conference registration desk. We also invite you to grow your advocacy chops in a non-threatening and fun way. The government relations team is holding an advocacy scavenger hunt. Pick up instructions at the registration desk, complete tasks, and earn prizes. You can also visit the State Advocacy Drop-In Room Friday and Saturday, 8 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. in the Baker Room. And that's one of the ways to earn points in the contest, so don't miss that opportunity. To put on as many special events and educational sessions as we have this week takes a village. There are so many who work together to make this conference possible, and I want to take a moment to thank our conference sponsors for their support this year. Our bronze sponsors, the American Music Therapy Association for Students and the Southwestern region of AMTA. Our silver sponsors, DocuMT and Music is Elementary. Our gold sponsors, Blue Star Connection, CARF International Aspire to Excellence, Healthcare Provider Service Organization, Home Health Soft, International Association for Music and Medicine, KidLinks, Mid-Atlantic region of AMTA, Music Therapy Kids, the Spiegel Academy online CMTEs, and Yamaha Music and Wellness Institute. Our platinum sponsors, the Certification Board for Music Therapists, the Each One Counts Foundation, Helms Briscoe, Music Together Worldwide, Oxford University Press, Tom and Lucy Ott, and Zivix LLC, and our diamond sponsors, Remo Incorporated and West Music Company. Without your support, the number and quality of events, education, and fun at this conference would not be possible. Please give all these folks a big round of applause. We welcome honored guests from Dallas and the surrounding area. Thank you for being with us tonight. We also welcome invited speakers, and especially those who are presenting at this conference from the United States and abroad. We could not do this without you. And a special shout out to all students and international guests. Thank you for coming and enjoy the evening. This year we have developed a conference code of conduct, which you'll find on page 82 of your printed program. You'll also find a copy of the code and additional information in the bags you picked up at the registration desk. Tomorrow morning at 9:30 in this room, we'll enjoy our joint keynote address, Life Changes, presented by Drs. Andy Farbman and DeForia Lane. It promises to be both entertaining and enlightening. Afterwards, you'll want to stay for the State of the Association address, Member Recognition Awards and Honor Ceremony, the first of 2 business meetings, and a time of remembrance where we'll honor those we've lost in the past year. We especially welcome our honored guest, Kechi Okwuchi, for a special 20th anniversary concert. Many of you already know about Kechi, who was a top 10 finalist on the program America's Got Talent. Kechi was one of only 2 survivors of a plane crash when she was a teenager, and she received music therapy services as part of her recovery. Her story of triumph, acceptance, and self-worth, coupled with her powerful voice, will be an event you won't want to miss. So make plans to be back in this room tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Lastly, I want to thank each of you for being here tonight. We have a full conference planned for your enjoyment over the next several days, which was made possible by hundreds of hours of work performed by our local arrangements committee, co-chaired by Mary Altum and Daniel Tague, AMTA Association leaders and staff. This conference is for you. Thank you for coming and enjoy the evening. And now it is my pleasure to bring back to the stage AMTA President Amber Weldon-Stevens.
Thank you, Kristen. Thank you, everyone. Growth is the theme of this year's conference, and this year has truly been one of growth for the music therapy profession. We continued our relationship with artist spokesperson Renee Fleming and the John Kennedy Center for the Performing Arts in our nation's capital, with events featuring music therapists as a part of Sound Health, Music in the Mind. We announced the launch of an online finding aid for the AMT archives. Many hard-to-acquire historic records have been digitalized and made accessible online from the comfort of your home or office. This year, we achieved even more visibility for music therapy with a featured ad in Times Square on National Nonprofit Day. That was pretty exciting. Yes, give them a hand. That's exciting. That was really a big deal. And we have 4 new music therapy texts, which were published in 2018. Music and Special Education, 3rd edition. Yes, woo, that's absolutely right. A Guide to Designing Research Questions for Beginning Music Therapy Researchers. Early Theoretical Writings on Music Therapy. And the long-awaited Music Therapy, An Introduction to the Profession. These books are all available in the AMTA Village in the exhibit hall at this conference, so please go purchase. Next, there's so much more I can tell you, but I'll just leave you with those tidbits to whet your appetite. And you can hear more about music therapy successes and milestones tomorrow at the State of the Association address. For now, here we are together to celebrate and move forward with our next score of years in the music therapy profession. Give yourself a hand. As president of AMTA, it is my great honor each year to present commendations to deserving colleagues. I'd like to present just a few of these this evening. First, we want to acknowledge the 35th anniversary of our good friend and partner, CBMT, the Certification Board for Music Therapists. Cheers. Chair Lori Lundeen Smith and Executive Director Joy Schneck, will you please join me on stage? Come on down. Where are you? There you are. Yes, give them some traveling music. They're traveling. There you go. Come on down. That's awesome. As we celebrate 35 years of CBMT, we are also commemorating 25 years of Joy Schneck's service as CBMT's Executive Director. Thank you, CBMT, and thank you, Joy. Let me give you something. We want to acknowledge their tremendous contributions to the music therapy profession. The Journal of Music Therapy has a nearly 55-year history of publishing heritage and 35 years for music therapy perspectives. Our current editors have proudly carried forward a tradition of scholarship excellence with integrity, passion, and commitment. When they took on their appointments 8 years ago, our partnership with Oxford University Press was not yet finalized. These editors helped usher the journals through that transition. When they began, there were no online article formats, no online submission processes, and no consortium access, and no association editors. Our outgoing editors do not do this job alone, and they are always the first ones to point out the invaluable contributions of their editorial teams. In 8 years, the journals grew from only the 2 to a full editorial team of 11. We've come so far in such a short period of time, and we do not want to let this moment pass without thanking them. Please join me on the stage, outgoing editor of the Journal of Music Therapy, Dr. Sherry Robb.
And I'm really thrilled to turn over the editor-in-chief position for the Journal of Music Therapy to Dr. Blythe Lagasse.
And our outgoing editor of Music Therapy Perspectives, Dr. Anthony Meadows. Come on down.
It's also my great pleasure to hand over the editorship to Dr. Laura Beer.
Thank you both so much for your contributions to the body of research in music therapy. And next, I would like to present a presidential commendation to Dr. Alicia Clare. Oh, Dr. Alicia, come on down. Now I want her to stand here right with me. She's gonna stay here with me a second while I tell you about her, and then I'll give her her gift. Okay. Dr. Clare has served our profession numerous times and high-level roles. She first served as president from 1984 to 86, a tumultuous time for NAMT, as it had just moved to Washington, D.C., and was experiencing financial challenges. She later served on the Education and Clinical Training Commission, which was a huge part of the unification of AAMT and NAMT. More recently, she has answered the call to serve as AMTA's treasurer since 2012. She was responsible for AMTA's financial action plan and most recently for providing the leadership along with Dr. Andrew Knight and Dr. Blythe Lagasse and nearly 50 other authors to publish the brand new textbook, Music Therapy, An Introduction to the Profession. As she steps down from the office of treasurer, we wanted to acknowledge her service and present her with a presidential commendation. We love you, Alicia, and there's no one that'll ever fill your shoes, and we wanted you to know that. So let's give her a gift. I'm sure this won't be the last we hear from Dr. Clare, but for now, thank you for everything, Alicia, and take a well-deserved rest for just a little bit. Just a little bit. Let's move on. The Arthur Flagler Fultz Research Award was established in 1998 by Tom and Lucy Ott in memory of their son David. The Fultz Fund is named in recognition of the contributions made to music therapy by the late Reverend Arthur Flagler Fultz. The Fultz Award was increased to $20,000 this year. It is open to AMTA members to help fund important research in music therapy. Thank you to all the scholars who submitted an application for the Fultz Award. I wish to recognize the Fultz Research Fund Chair, Dr. Michelle Fornash, and the committee for their assistance in the selection process. I also want to recognize the past Fultz scholars. If you're here, please wave at past Fultz scholars. Please stand up. Let's give you a hand. Thank you. It is this continued commitment to research contributions that result from your work that push our entire profession forward, so we thank you. And now, for the 2018 Fultz Research Fund Award, this year's winner and principal investigator is Dr. Kimberly Sienna Moore. Come on down. Let me tell you a little bit about her study and the title. It's titled The Feasibility of the Musical Contour Regulation Facilitation, the MCRF, Intervention to Promote Emotion Regulation in At-Risk Preschoolers, a Clinical Pilot Study. Thank you, Kimberly, for this valuable research study. Let's give her a hand one more time. Congratulations. AMTA has many exciting member recognition awards, which will be presented tomorrow morning, right back in this room at 10:30 a.m. But we'll start tonight with our Lifetime Achievement Awards, which is the most prestigious honor that AMTA bestows. The Lifetime Achievement Award recognizes a legacy of commitment and dedication to the profession of music therapy. The AMTA Board of Directors confers this award upon individuals to acknowledge their role in the growth and advancement of our profession. If you are a Lifetime Achievement Awardee, please stand and let us give you a hand and welcome back. Come on, Lifetimers. Well, stand up, Lifetimers. Thank you. A lifetime. That's impressive. Tonight we have two new Lifetime Achievement Awards to present, and it is my honor to give them both. The first goes to Dr. Michelle Hairston, one of my BFFs. And while Michelle is coming up on the stage, I'll tell you all about her. Come on, Michelle. So she's traveling. As Dr. Michelle Hairston, past AMTA president, researcher, scholar, and overall leader in the music therapy profession, is perhaps best known in her role as a passionate educator while maintaining the heavy schedule of chairing the East Carolina University Music Education Music Therapy Program. Dr. Hairston has continued to serve in numerous leadership roles with the North Carolina State Organization, the Southeast region of the AMTA, and within the AMTA Board of Directors as Vice President and President. Perhaps most importantly, though, are the lasting impressions she makes on her students, who describe her as thoughtful and kind and dedicated to enriching lives through the power of music. We acknowledge Dr. Hairston's exemplary service and dedication to the profession of music therapy, and I'm going off script to say Dr. Richard Graham is smiling in heaven. Let us honor Dr. Michelle Hairston.
Thank you so much. Ooh, that little bit, I'm channeling Deforia Lane right now because I remember how calm she seemed when she was up here. But it is with sincere gratitude and thanks that I accept this award. 42 years of being a music therapist seems to have gone by in the blink of an eye. I'd first like to thank the AMTA Board of Directors for their support in awarding me this honor. I'm going to take a deep breath, just a moment. I am truly humbled by your recognition. Unfortunately, my dad's 96-year-old health does not allow him to be here tonight, but I cannot go further without thanking Olin Parker for starting me on this incredible path of music therapy. When I was in the 8th grade, Ether Gaston came to our home for dinner. He was a former professor of my father's. He asked me what I wanted to do with my life, and I said I liked helping people and I liked music. So for 2 hours, he enthralled me with the wonders of music therapy. And it was right then that I decided, then and there, that music therapy was for me, and I never once changed my mind. And for those of you who might be in an introductory class, you might know Ether Gaston as someone who is often called the father of music therapy. Fast forward to great years with Richard M. Graham at the University of Georgia, and then meeting the love of my life, Charlie, my wonderful husband. If it were not for Charlie, I wouldn't be at East Carolina University today. It was his insistence and limitless support that got me to my place in music therapy today. He consistently urged me onward. I could have never done this without you, Charlie. You are my rock. Thank you. And to my family, my son-in-law, Tony, my grandchildren, Michael, Madeline, Gabriella, my niece, Monica, and my brother-in-law, Glenn, who are all here, and to Miranda, my wonderful daughter, who is furthering her career across the country at another conference. Thank you for your love and support and being the best audience possible. Music therapy has been my life. For 32 years, I have taught at ECU, and my students have been the highlight of every single day. They have encouraged me, inspired me, and taught me so much more than I could ever teach them. They have kept music therapy alive and new every single day. And so I give a shout out to all my students, past and present, for making my life so incredibly wonderful. You are the future of music therapy, and I feel we are in very good hands. You are our next leaders. And to all my incredible colleagues, my extended family, as I call you, your friendship and support over the years has increased the quality of my life immensely, and I truly thank you. Conference always brings about the anticipation of reconnecting cherished friendships that will last a lifetime. And I would be remiss if I didn't thank the National Office staff, especially Andy Farbman, for all of their hard work, kind words, encouragement, and help throughout the years. You surely make being president a pleasant experience. And I'm so thrilled to be honored tonight with Dr. Farbman. To each of you and all of you, thank you from the bottom of my heart. I'll treasure this always.
So emotional. Okay. Let's move on now, because it's not even going to get more emotional. Here we go. Let me turn my page. All right, now, the next Lifetime Achievement Award goes to another dear individual in our lives, Andrea Farbman. And Andy knows the drill. Please join me on stage. Come on down. Okay, she's always the executive director. She's doing like this. Keep it going, Amber. Okay, and I can go quickly. Okay, when Dr. Andrea Farbman joined AMTA in 1988 as Director of Government and Public Relations, no one realized she was launching a 30-year career that would guide the music therapy world through major organizational change. Under her leadership as Executive Director, AMTA became involved in numerous initiatives, including the U.S. Senate hearing on music therapy and older adults, the unification of AAMT and NAMT, hosting the World Congress of Music Therapy in 1999, a partnership with Oxford University Press, oversight of AMTA's first research symposium, Music Therapy Research 2025, and collaboration with the NIH and Kennedy Center to produce the public education initiative, Sound Health, Music and the Mind. As a result of Dr. Foreman's communication and organizational skills, AMTA has strong relationships with numerous government agencies, creative arts therapies organizations, and allied health professions. Her business and management acumen have benefited the organization in terms of budget, oversight, implementation, and stability. The loyalty and passion of the national office staff are an additional testament to Dr. Foreman's exceptional leadership skills. We recognize Dr. Foreman's outstanding commitment to the music therapy profession. It is our honor to bestow this to you, Andy. One more time.
I've been on this stage a lot of times over the last 30 years, but I never expected to be up here under these circumstances. So thank you for this amazing honor. 30 years ago tonight, I attended my first music therapy conference in Atlanta, Georgia. I had been hired as the first director of government and public relations. I had high expectations for the government relations agenda, and I respected what Dr. Kate Gefeller had accomplished as the volunteer committee chair. In those days, all the association committees met in one ballroom at little round tables for an hour. Now we have 1,000 meeting rooms and 1,000 hours, and there's a lot, and each committee having its own room. But back to my first conference. I eagerly headed to the government relations table, and I sat there the entire hour alone. In 1998, not one person showed up for the government relations meeting. I was bereft. I realized there was a lot of work to be done, and I wondered, what the hell did I get myself in for? Flash forward to today, to our government relations department with Judy Simpson as the helm. With Judy Simpson at the helm as director, Rebecca Preddy as our senior federal policy and programs analyst, and Maria Fay as our government relations specialist. They participate in what seems like 1 million coalitions, and they convene state task forces in nearly every state. Okay, back to the beginning again. Many of you know of our association's humble start in Lawrence, Kansas in the 1950s. Humble, I said. And then the move to the big city, AKA Washington, D.C. in the early 80s. When I arrived in 1988, our association was housed in a small row house on Capitol Hill. The tiny copy machine sat on the bathtub, and it went all the way here and all the way there to make one copy. And every time you walked upstairs, the track lights downstairs went out. And there was only one computer, and it had to be shared in 15-minute increments. And speaking of 15 minutes, our most immediate vehicle, because remember, we're talking pre-internet, pre-web, whatever it's called. Our most immediate vehicles were faxes, and we only had to walk 15 minutes to pick them up at Kinko's. My, how things have changed. Actually, I'm quite nostalgic for that time. So, in all honesty, when I left my position as Director of Congressional Affairs for the National Council on Disability, I had a number of job offers. And I took the one that would be the easiest because I was recovering from losing my mom to breast cancer, and for the first time in my career, I was looking for respite care. Not so much, as opposed to a big career move, but you never know how things are going to turn out. I certainly can't take credit for everything good or bad that has happened over the past 30 years. But given my hands-on, micromanaging, manipulative tendencies, you can be sure that I am somewhere in the mix. So it's been my honor and privilege to oversee our association, and it means that I have a front row seat to witness your passion and your commitment to using the power of music to affect people's lives. And that is what has driven our agenda and our accomplishments. You'll hear about a few accomplishments during tomorrow's joint keynote address with DeForia Lane, if you haven't gotten sick from tonight. But tonight, I want to shine a light on the people and the partnerships. Following the historic Senate hearing on music and aging, besides the legislative advances, we also made inroads into the music industry and gained 3 very special friends. Carl Brun, marketing director for Yamaha and then for NAMM, which is the trade association for instrument manufacturers and retailers, became our first presidential advisor and opened many doors for music therapy and schlepped us around the NAMM show. I went through more pairs of shoes walking the miles of the NAMM trade show than anything else. Remo Belli, the founder and CEO of Remo Inc., who patented the artificial drum head and founded the largest drum manufacturer in the world, and his brilliant wife, Dr. Ami Belli, who, as a physician, was interested in wellness and complementary medicine before it was trendy, became fast and loyal friends after the Senate hearing. Remo taught me patience and perspective because he had lived through and weathered so many more things than I had. And every time I expressed frustration, he'd say, "All in due time, Andy, all in due time." I really never got that lesson. Sadly, both Carl and Remo are no longer with us, but our third music industry friend is very much alive and well, Steve West, chairman of West Music in Iowa. He has partnered with us for decades and created a music therapy mecca within a retail business. All of those years of talking to him at NAMM banquets paid off. West Music has 14 music therapists, 2 interns, yes, let's do that. And they're all delivering music therapy from a retail framework in community and clinical settings alike. And a few other friends we gained along the way. Tom and Lucy Ott, you heard earlier, endowed the Fultz Research Fund Award to honor their son David, for which we are in the 20th granting year. The Otts also embrace music therapy on the local level by supporting scholarships and program development in New Jersey. And our first artist spokesperson, composer, and pianist, Robin Spielberg, who has worked tirelessly for music therapy. Our recent friends include Dr. Francis Collins, director of NIH, and our newest artist spokesperson, the renowned soprano, Renee Fleming. These are just a few of the many friends we've cultivated over the years. The real measure of how someone functions is how they cope under difficult circumstances. I've worked with hundreds of dedicated association officials and volunteers. There were 3 individuals who stand out because they saw our association and me through the darkest times. And for that, I will always be grateful. They are Brian Hunter, David Smith, and Mary Adamek. Thank you. And hats off to our current leadership team who are seeing AMTA through this transition. President Amber Weldon-Stevens, past President Jennifer Geiger, and President-elect Deb Bankovitz-Williams. There were also many average members whose kindnesses sustained me. Ann Dinsmore traveled down by train from her home in rural Pennsylvania in 1992 to testify for appropriations for the Older Americans Act. I met her at Union Station. She had never been on Capitol Hill, and she was very nervous. I looked down and I noticed something hanging out of her shoe. At first I thought it was toilet paper, but no. And I asked her what it was, and she told me that her children had left a note in her shoe wishing her good luck, just like she did for them when they had special events. And then there's Joanne Carey, who is one of the people we helped in New Jersey after 9/11. Every year without fail, she sends a thank you note and makes a donation to our disaster relief funds. And thanks to my crew of 30-something colleagues who keep me grounded, Leanne Velasco, Clarissa Carlson, and Amy Smith. Now to thank my families. First, my staff family. We've been together through sickness and health, sorrows and joys, and too many hairstyles. I would like to ask them to stand and wave and keep standing in alphabetical order. Kim Bell, Patty Catalano. We'll do the applause at the end. Kim Bell, Patty Catalano, Jane Cregan, Angie Elkins, Barb Else, Maria Fay, Tawna Grasty, Jenny McAfee, Rebecca Preddy, Judy Simpson, Cindy Smith, Travis Smith, Diane Warzussen. I can't really see, you're standing there, okay. And our beloved Al Bumanis, who I know is with us tonight. Please give them a round of applause. And finally, thanks to my own family, 5 of whom are here tonight, well, 4.5. You're here? Yes, stuck on the plane for 5 hours, yay! My sister Margie Varney, who's reinventing herself in retirement. Our 4 grown daughters, who we are so proud of. 2 are here tonight. Molly, who was stuck on a plane for 5 hours, who's doing important policy work as a disability rights attorney. And Ariel, who will forever be known to AMTA as a Senate hearing baby, is establishing herself as a kick-ass writer as she works on her MFA in creative writing. And the other 2, who live across the pond, Dorney is an environmental planner with our grandkids in Dublin, and Gigi is an actress in London. And wait for this. Our niece Amanda, just this year, graduated with her degree in music therapy. From the University of Evansville, and is doing her internship. And of course, my dear husband, Bob Bergdorf, who many of you know is a preeminent disability rights legal scholar and who happened to write the original draft of the Americans with Disabilities Act single-handedly. He has been there day in and day out, seeing me through the joys, the dramas, and the traumas, of which there have been plenty, and I won't say which one that modifies. During my 30 years with music therapy, you let me into your hearts, and you were in mine. In the end, dates and events will fade. But I like to think about what Maya Angelou said. It's not what someone does that you remember, it's how they made you feel. Thank you for filling my heart with love and gratitude, and I hope you will remember me for the love I inspired.